Togunas, welcome back to our podcast, because this is our platform where we speak wherever we want. It is the Arsenal Transfer Talk Show with me, Kosi, and of course, don't forget to subscribe down there, like the video, share it as long as you feel like you can share it. Please do share it, and of course, give me your comments in the comment box. Drop your opinions. What do you think about the stories we are going to talk about? What do you think about, you can ask me anything. You can ask me anything. I'm going to be doing those questions live, so guys, please do get in your comments and questions in the comment box. I have a couple of stories I want to talk about, but the biggest is Luis Suarez being linked to Arsenal. That is upsetting me, man. When I look at that story, I don't believe it. I think he is not better than what we have. And I remember Mikel Arteta, when he was talking about transfers, he made it very clear. He said, we are not going to just sign players, we want to bring in the better, people who are better than what we have. So if you're saying we are bringing in players who are better than what we have, and we have Aubameyang, we have Lacazette up front, why the hell do we need Luis Suarez? I'm going to be talking about that, but let me start with the Thiago Alcantara boost. I think I did that story 4 days ago, and you people were ranting, and you were saying that we cannot get Thiago Alcantara. Today we received another boost, which is on our side. Liverpool have not contacted Bayern Munich. This is very interesting. That means we are a step ahead of Liverpool in getting Thiago Alcantara. Remember that yesterday Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, the CEO of Bayern Munich, came out and said, Liverpool have not contacted us, blood. They have not talked to us. We read it in the papers, just like the fans read it in the papers, that they have, that they want Thiago Alcantara, but they have not come. They have not officially come. It is the same situation as how Liverpool lost Timo Werner to Chelsea. Remember, RB Leipzig came out and said Liverpool have not contacted us, but the media were portraying Timo Werner and Liverpool as inseparable, as indispensable. And what happened? Liverpool lost Timo Werner. So for me, I still have a lot of hope that probably we can get Thiago Alcantara. And you remember, guys, Mikel Arteta had a phone call conversation with Alcantara. Whatever they talked about, probably it can come through as a good deal. The good thing is that Bayern Munich is willing to sell. The player is willing to move, and he wants to come to the Premier League. He has not said he wants to come to Liverpool. He says he wants to come to the Premier League. And the biggest thing is his contract is left, has 1 year to expire. He's not going to renew it. That means he can be a lot more cheaper. Can be a lot more cheaper. Bayern are talking about 30 million euros and all that crap, but a player who has 1 year left on their contract, the next year they are going to move on a free transfer. He is 29, 30. There is no way you're going to ask for 30 million euros, blood. I think Bayern Munich should get back to their mind. Think about it. You guys just remember when we sold Alexis Sanchez. He was in top form, blood. Top form, he was the king of England in football by that time. Alexis Sanchez, we lost him, just pennies, with the switch of Henrik Mkhitaryan, who never did anything for us. So a player whose contract is running down is as cheap as a free agent, because even free agents, they get a sign-on fee which is close to 5, 6, 7 million. So a player who's who has 1 year left on their contract, the biggest thing you're gonna get is 10, 15. If the player is young and exceptional, you might get 20 million or 25. But if an old player like Thiago Alcantara, there is no way we are going to give you 30 million euros. And I can guarantee, if Liverpool get out of that deal, Arsenal is going to bring Thiago Alcantara at less than 20 million. I just wanted to talk about that before I talk about Luis Suarez. Now, today in the morning I was doing the Arsenal paper talk. I think you guys have watched that video. If you haven't watched the video, after this, please go back and watch the Arsenal paper talk and see what we talked about in the morning about Arsenal and the papers, what they have been writing in the morning hours. Now, I saw this story, Luis Suarez available for Arsenal. I saw it yesterday. I want to be very frank. I saw it yesterday and I was like, this is crap. Again today in the morning, the story resurfaces as I prepare to come live, to do this video in the afternoon. The same story comes, and that's like, what the hell is this? Why do we need Luis Suarez? I mean, if you're Mikel Arteta and you're telling us that we need, players who are better than what we have, why do we need Luis Suarez? He is a lion, a sleeping lion. It's not going to wake up anymore. He's spelled at Liverpool, he's spelled at Barcelona. That was the Luis Suarez, that was the peak of him. He has come to his climax. He needs to go to China, he needs to go to Major League Soccer, or he needs to go to, I don't know, which other retirement country, do footballers love so much? UAE or something like Turkey, you sign for, clubs like, Bakeshpo, something like that. Not Arsenal. Arsenal is not a retirement home, blood. You're 33. You're coming in the Premier League. You've already started getting injuries day in, day out. What are you going to offer at Arsenal? Why should we, offload a player like Lacazette if we can bring in, Suarez? What's the difference, man? We get away a 29-year-old who still has 3-4 years, promising. We bring in someone who's already dead. I'm one of those, big fans of Luis Suarez, and I rate him highly. He's a good striker. He has been one of those top strikers in Europe. But right now, there is no way you're going to convince me that Arsenal are in position where we need Luis Suarez. No, blood. There isn't. There isn't in any way you're going to convince me on that. At least I can settle for Willian, who's 32. Yes, because I know if you look at Willian's statistics and the rate at which he's in the sick bay, it is promising. Last season he has 10 assists and 10 goals and 11 assists for Chelsea. He has played a couple of games for Chelsea and he is always on the pitch, not bedridden. I can think about Thiago Alcantara because when I look through the appearance rate at Bayern Munich, he has been always present, not in the sick bay. Just look at Barcelona and how they crumbled, against, Real Madrid, giving Real Madrid that easy, La Liga, win. By the time we came back for, after the COVID-19 break, Barcelona were leading the table, and somehow they crumbled day in, day out, weekend in, weekend out, because these players are old. Messi is old, Sergio Busquets is old, Luis Suarez is old, and we are crawling little by little so that we can actually pull out Luis Suarez. For what, man? For what? Those are players that might be, must be occupying and entertaining us in the Major League Soccer when I don't have sleep and Big Courses has finished working on the Arsenal podcast. He doesn't have sleep. After midnight, I go into and watch Sanders or something like that playing in America. That's what I do. And then I watch Beckham. I watch which other players are there in the Major League Soccer. I want to see Messi in the Major League Soccer, Ronaldo, so that in the evening after working or after working on the Arsenal podcast, I want to watch something late at night when I don't have sleep. I go maybe have get a cup of tea and then watch on my sit on my screen and watch Luis Suarez playing in the Major League Soccer at night, not playing in the hectic Premier League where because for me, I believe, and I'm about to produce my predictions as soon as we sign any midfielder. I believe Arsenal must be one of those clubs that are contending to go back to the Champions League next season, basing on the fact that we have solved the defense problems. Because if you look at one of the reasons why we could not compete favorably was because of the defense last season. And now this season, the reason is going to be our midfield. If we can work on that, we are going to compete very well. So, guys, I want to be honest. Let us be honest. If we sign Luis Suarez, and he's a striker, he's our striker, yes. He's a big profile. He has scored so many goals in the Champions League, so many goals for Liverpool, and so many goals for Barcelona. Let us compare him, just compare him to the strikers in the Premier League right now. Just compare him to Harry Kane. Do you think, Kane is 20 goals per season? You know that. Kane is 20 goals per season. Is Suarez 20 goals per season anymore? Aguero is 25 goals per season. He's getting old, but 25 goals per season. Is Luis Suarez 25 goals per season anymore? Aubameyang is 20 goals per season. Is Luis Suarez capable of giving you 20 goals per season? Timo Werner. Chelsea have signed Timo Werner. I cannot even compare Luis Suarez to Tammy Abraham, because I think Abraham is young, 22. He still has a big future. He can work whatever he wants, and and becomes a very great player like Harry Kane. None of us thought Harry Kane was going to become that big, that great. He has scored almost 20 goals per season for 4 consecutive seasons. So if you're gonna compete with Chelsea, with Timo Werner, compete with Manchester City, who are brought in, who have Aguero and Jesus, you're competing with Liverpool. They have the best, or almost the best 3 in the league: Mane, Salah, and Firmino. You have to have the best players, man, the best players, and not Luis Suarez, because you have to think right. Liverpool had Luis Suarez. They know what it means to have a Luis Suarez. Why aren't they going for him? It's the same. It's the same question I asked myself. When we were, dying to get Philippe Coutinho, very expensive loan deal, and I said, if Liverpool think Philippe Coutinho is still good enough, they have a bigger advantage to take him back, because Liverpool is home for for both of the boys. Why aren't Liverpool going for them? Because they know the players are no longer that good. They left Liverpool when they were top quality, and now they are no longer top quality. And that's why that's what I always talk about when I come on this platform. I say Philippe Coutinho, no, yes, our. I say I would rather get Thiago than Philippe Coutinho. He's cheaper and more class. So I would rather stay with Lacazette than get Luis Suarez. I would rather stay with a 29-year-old, maybe who can give me 10 goals, and can play a full season or half a season, without being in the sick bay all the time, than having a 33-year-old who's going to be, sleeping in the sick bay and chatting, on WhatsApp and TikTok with Mesut Ozil, because they have nothing to do at Arsenal. So I think Arsenal should not become a retirement home, and I'm very happy with the latest signings we are doing. I'm really happy. I'm one of those very happy people. But the question is, why is Arsenal always involved in transfer nonsense in every transfer window? Just remember last summer, we brought in David Luiz from nowhere. I was shocked. Just like Expressions was shocked when they signed Joe Hart. That's the same way I was shocked when we brought in David Luiz. I was like, what, man? And I wasn't wrong. He caused 5 penalties in one season. Probably if you give him another season, he's going to cause another 5. So he has caused 10 penalties across a period of 2 seasons. Well done, blood. Well done, man. Raul Sanelli, you signed David Luiz for us. Good thing you got sacked, man. You deserve it. So guys, I'm not really in the mood to welcome Luis Suarez. There is nothing he's going to add to us. And this trend, this rumor makes me very insecure about the Aubameyang deal. I don't know whether Aubameyang's pen is needs ink from Scandinavia or something like that. Ever since March, we have been in negotiations with Aubameyang, and they have been positive. Today we are entering September, and we are still in negotiations with Aubameyang, and we are still positive. What is positive about them? 5 months ago they were positive because they had started. 5 months after, they are still positive without any progress. There is no progress. Every day they report Aubameyang close. Aubameyang close. Close to what? I think signing. I don't know whether his pen is held 10 meters off his head, that every time it drops 1 meter or 1.5, they say he's close until the pen lands on the paper. Damn it, man. There are things I think about at Arsenal, and I get pissed off, and I come here, and I want to be very humble because I'm an Arsenal fan, and I want to give you guys all the latest transfer news and all that, but I fail because I know this club is just playing on our minds. I will not be surprised if we wake up one day and Arsenal break the news that Aubameyang is leaving and he's going somewhere. They have already said it before that he would want to go, he would want to make an international move, not a local move. What does that mean? 3 months later they say he's close. Close to what? I mean, if I was to, I don't have a pen and paper, but if I was to sign here, I don't know. I don't think by the time media report that I'm close, I will have finished signing the paper. So there is nothing like he's close. Nothing, man. Anyway, let's wait for let's wait next week, because this week has been a total loss in terms of transfers. But still, I'm going to be breaking down the Fabrizio Romano interview. I think League Ghana is going to upload it on Sunday, so I will go through it. I cannot re-upload it. I cannot re-upload it for you guys. I'm sorry, but I will go through it bit by bit. He said the Arsenal body is in love with Hosem Aouar. That made me very happy, blood. And there is someone called, is it Stefan? You called Stefan, who said that we cannot sign Aouar because he's 60 million. Guy, did you think before, you were telling me that we have a 72 million player in the squad, and you're saying we cannot sign someone who's 60 million? Oh, maybe currencies and dollars change to maybe $60 million or 60 million pounds now are heavier than 70 million pounds. I'm not really good at business and currency. But if I can sign someone who's 72 million pounds, why can't we sign someone who's 60 million? And I told you, transfers are never paid front cash. Transfers are paid in installments. Barcelona has not yet fully paid Coutinho's money to Liverpool. I said that, blood. Anyway, that is the transfer talk show, and that's what I had for you today. Thiago Alcantara, we have a big boost. We can sign him, and Luis Suarez, close, very closely linked to Arsenal. I don't want to see any more updates, and if I see them, I might ignore them, because I don't want to get pissed off on this show when Luis Suarez is in an Arsenal jersey. I can't imagine it, and I don't want to imagine it. Goodbye, guys.